Hello and welcome to another Naruto CCG Deck Profile video. Today I'm profiling a Deidara based deck which is running on the BR Flip engine that I think I've profiled in at least one previous video, so you should be at least a little bit aware of it. This is a pretty casual deck, but using an engine of a pretty meta deck, I think it actually works pretty well. And you might be able to swing a couple victories with this. It's not going to be the best in the world, but I think it does its job pretty well. As always, I am running the Untap and Great Ninja Tournaments deck list rogue lists, so I will tell you any of the differences between those two, but as always, I don't think there will be very many, and I'm really bad at remembering if there are any, so I'm sure this will probably be a lie by the time I get there, but I will tell you any changes you have to make to abide by both of those rogue lists. And as always, you can see the full deck profile list down below. You can cut and paste it into the Untap website that I also have linked in the description down below. So you can make any modifications, do anything that you want with it, change the numbers, add some things, discard some things, whatever you want to do, or just see the deck in its full glory on Untap. So without further ado, let's just get right into the deck profile. Starting off with turn 0 ninjas, I'm running 3 Detonating Clay Minion. Just to start off, all of these cards that I had were mostly from the past when I played about 20 years ago, before the game was canceled. And when I was building this deck, I kind of just discovered that all of my Deidara cards were all foil. If you've watched any of my other videos at all, you'll know I don't really like foil in general. I think it just doesn't look as good. But all of my Deidaras are foil in here, so anything that I built out of it, I just bought foil. So every single Deidara card in this deck is foil, and I think that's kind of neat, actually. So starting off, the 3 Detonating Clay Minion. Fun fact about this, I think it's the only ninja in the entire game that doesn't have any characteristics. But it is a turn 0 Earth Ninja, has 3 and 1 when injured power, and its effect is during your mission phase, while this card is in your discard pile, you can charge 1 Deidara ninja card from your hand. In that case, put this ninja card into play. So it's pretty good in this version because, if you have it in your discard pile, it's just a free body on your board. And your Deidaras have ambush in this version, so it's not really going to hurt you in the long run. It's just a free body back put in play, and then you can just deploy your Deidara if you need to. Or if you just have a Deidara in play already, you can get some chakra for free, whatever you need to do. Because it has no characteristics, it doesn't have named Deidara, so unfortunately it can't use any of our Jutsus, but it also can be in play while Deidara is. So being 3, and it does actually have the bomb characteristic, weapon attribute, there we go, which is kind of interesting and a different deck type, but not really applicable to mine. So just a nice average beat stick on the 0 turns that helps synergize later. Next, I'm running 3 Neji Hyuga Destiny. This is pretty much standard for any BR Flip deck. He is 3-0 and 3-0 and injured, so he's pretty good for blocking. And its effect is, when this ninja is deployed, your opponent gets 1 battle reward. That is a negative, obviously, but in this deck, you turn it into a positive. Valid, during your mission phase, you can turn one of your opponent's battle rewards face up. Very integral to the BR Flip mechanic. Flipping your battle rewards face up is pretty much what you're going for. It does have growth, but unfortunately, his effect is when it's deployed, so you're not going to be able to lose another battle reward there, which I guess is not completely unfortunate. But obviously, Byakugan, obviously Taijutsu, obviously Hyuga, so very helpful there. But we will get into how his effect applies later on. And I might as well move these up here. Next, I'm running 3 Shiho, another standard for BR Flip. She has mental power 2 and then 2 support and 0 when injured, so very good to be in the back. Her effect is during your mission phase, the attacker's mission phase, you can pay 0 chakra in order to draw 1 card. Then you move 1 card in your hand to the bottom of your deck. To the top of your deck. This is very important with our Hanabi later on. If you know anything about BR Flip, you'll know this is an integral part. But being able to draw a card immediately is very good. Gets you priority a little bit earlier, lets you see a little bit more immediately, and later on lets you combo to get your combos and plays going. And last for turn zeros, I do run 11 as is standard for my decks. I am running 2 Doki. It is still an Earth Ninja, but it has a water symbol as well. None of the other characteristics or anything that we're looking for here, but it does have tracking, and its effect is when your opponent's tracked ninja is sent out to attack, you can discard one of your opponent's chakra. This is a very, very jutsu-heavy deck, so limiting your opponent's chakra so they can't negate you, blow your ninja up, whatever, is very important. And we actually have multiple ways of tracking. So you can have this down and then apply tracking a different way in order to switch up the tracking target. So that's very important. Otherwise, it is 3-0 and 1-0 when injured. So another just average stat beat stick on turn 0. And very helpful with the Earth symbol as well. On to turn 1s, I run 3 Hanabi Hyuga, the most important card for any BR flip deck. Obviously, Byakugan is what we're looking for here, and she does have growth, so that's helpful. 1-2 and 0-0 when injured, so good for being in the back. Her effect is, when your opponent wins or gets any battle rewards, look at them. If there are 1 or more Earth Jutsu cards among them, you can reveal and move them to your hand instead, then move the rest to the battle reward area face up. So this is important for a variety of reasons, especially for this deck. Number 1, in a BR flip deck, this is how you're going to be flipping most of your battle rewards face up, because the ladder effect happens no matter what. It is then move the rest of the battle rewards area face up, and it doesn't matter what you did in your first set here. No matter what, if they're winning a battle reward, it's going face up whether or not you are taking it. Second of all, being able to take a Earth Jutsu is very important because 1, you're going to get another Jutsu into your hand, which is basically a draw that you're getting for free. 2, your opponent is not winning that battle reward, so essentially, you are losing them a battle reward, which is very important. They can swing infinitely, and if you have a Jutsu on top, they will never, ever win the game. And 3, this deck, as I said, is very Jutsu heavy, so getting a Jutsu back into your hand is extremely important. This combos very well with Shiho, as she allows you to put any card in your hand on the top of your deck. So if you have a card that you're going to play to win your opponent a battle reward, such as Neji, if you have Shiho on the field and Hanabi on the field, you can use Shiho's effect. Draw yourself a card, put one of your Jutsus with an Earth symbol back on the top of your deck, then deploy your Neji. Neji wins your opponent a battle reward. They flip it face up. It is a Jutsu, so Hanabi lets you keep that battle reward. So essentially, it allows you to completely control what is happening with your battle rewards and what you're keeping, and allowing you to get more card advantage by using effects that have a cost of paying a battle reward not to be paid. So extremely important, has to be in 3 on every single BR flip deck, in my opinion. And last for turn 1s, I run 1 Karin. She's very good for healing because of a lot of our effects are not valid, such as Hanabi and our Deidara's later on. She also is a Akatsuki, which is a little bit important, but she also does have ambush. If you somehow get her into the chakra, you can use her that way. Her effect is valid during the exchange of Jutsu or during the mission phase. You can move 1 card in your opponent's discard pile to their chakra area and then heal one of your other ninjas. So other ninjas meaning not her, basically. So giving your opponent 1 chakra, obviously not the best thing, but with Doki we can kind of mitigate that a little bit. And obviously giving your opponent 1 chakra in order to heal anybody at pretty much any time in the entire game is extremely important. This is the best healing card in the entire game, in my opinion. I don't think that's contentious at all. She does have 0-2 and 0-1 when injured, so she's very good at being supportive, and has 2 mental power if that ever comes up. Otherwise, very good support here, mostly for the healing and for the Akatsuki. On to turn 2s, I run 3 Tenten, one of the other most important cards in a BR flip deck, I think. Her effect is, during your mission phase, you can select one of your opponent's face-up Earth battle rewards. Oh, I actually never realized it was Earth battle rewards. That's interesting. In that case, move the selected card to your hand, and your opponent wins 1 battle reward. So, once again, this works very well with Hanabi and with Shiho, because basically, almost exactly the same way that the Neji works, you can use your Shiho, make sure there's an Earth Jutsu on the top of your deck. Then you can select pretty much anything in your opponent's battle rewards area take any card that you want as long as it's face up, which they hopefully all should be, and take it, and then your opponent wins a battle reward. It is not a cost, so it doesn't matter if they don't win that battle reward. So they win the battle reward, and then instead, if it's Jutsu, it goes to your hand. So essentially, you are unwinning your opponent a battle reward and getting to use your BR area like a second hand. It's incredibly powerful. There's pretty much nothing your opponent can do about it besides, killing Tenten or negating her effect. You have full control of your battle reward. So your opponent is never going to win any as long as you have Jutsus. You can keep shuffling in and out. So once again, I think Tenten at 3 and Hanabi at 3 makes BR Flip probably a top 3 deck in my opinion. I know. I've got to go back through my archetypes list. I know. On to turn 3s, I run 2 Zetsu. This is the Mysterious Nature Zetsu. It is very important in a BR Flip deck. It does have ambush, so that's good for your mission costs, and has tracking, so that's another way we can track with our Doki. Make sure that you have the correct target for Zetsu's effect or for Doki's effect, depending on what you're trying to do. Its effect is, while this ninja card is face up in your opponent's battle reward area, you can deploy it. So very good. It's probably going to be face up for your Hanabi. Just like with Tenten, just like with Shiho and everything, you can basically unwin your opponent a battle reward just by having this in there. Tenten can just put it back in by making sure that this is the card you are giving them for Tenten by putting him on the top of the deck with Shiho, so you win it, and then he can undeploy himself from the BR area. It's insane how much you can just unwin your opponent battle rewards. And also, very importantly, another valid effect, the effect text of your opponent's tracked ninja is negated. So not only is Zetsu going to help with the chakra control of Doki, but Doki can also help Zetsu in negating cards that your opponent has that you really don't want to be active. So 3-3 when healthy, 1-2 when injured. So very good in the front, in the back, whatever you need him to be. But very important. And also Akatsuki with an earth symbol. That is going to come up later, so keep that in mind as well. Last for turn 3s, I run 2 Tobi. This is Akatsuki's Humor, the chibi one. Its effect is valid. During your mission phase, you can name a card type. In that case, reveal the top card of your deck. If the revealed card is the named type, move the revealed card and a card in your discard pile to your chakra area. So this has kind of come up in a lot of my recent-ish deck profiles, but I think it's very, very good for being able to continuously resupply yourself with chakra. Most decks, and I believe this isn't contentious whatsoever, most decks, and even I'll say all decks, are going to have more ninjas than any other card type. And typically, ninjas are going to be the card that you want in your chakra the most, because most of them are going to have ambush, most of them are going to be duplicates as opposed to missions and jutsus that you might want duplicates of. So despite their, in my other decks at least, not being a way to make sure you know what that card is, if you just randomly call ninja, probably 50-ish% of the time you're going to hit, and you're going to get 2 cards into your chakra area, one of which is from your discard pile. So not only does that help any of your ninjas with ambush that were killed and put into your chakra area, or into your discard pile, like your Karins, but you'll also get your chakra back for jutsus, which this deck is entirely based on. He is also ambush himself. He has the fire symbol, which is important, and is Akatsuki. Just like Zetsu, we're looking for the Akatsuki with fire or earth symbol, so that's very good. And in this deck, we actually have a very good way to make sure that you know what you're going to be calling out in our Shiho. The same way that you can put a jutsu on the top of your deck so that you can unwin it with Hanabi and Tenten or whatever you're doing. Tobi, you can just put any card that you want on the top of your deck during the mission phase, any card you don't want specifically, call it out as that card type, it goes into your chakra, and now, you don't really have to use it. So it's a good way to filter things, very good way to keep our chakra going, and a great way to get your ninjas back. On to turn 4, and the only turn 4 I run, it's Deidara Younger Days. Looking pretty good in the holo on camera, not going to lie. It is an ambush ninja. It does not have Akatsuki because he is Younger Days, so he has not joined yet. He is just joining, but named Deidara, obviously. And its effect is Terrorist, which is always hilarious. But valid during your mission phase, the attacker's mission phase. You can pay 2 chakra, and then you flip a coin. If the result is heads, give 1 damage to one of your opponent's ninjas. Otherwise, your opponent gives 1 damage to one of your ninjas. Not the best effect, not the effect that you're really going to use. In fact, you're pretty much only ever going to use this ninja to have a Deidara on turn 4 and to growth into a Deidara on turn 5, because our second effect here is valid. Deidara ninja cards in your hand to get growth. Very, very importantly, unlike in Puppet deck with like Sasori Childhood, having a card on your field as a childhood version that you need the adult of is always very painful. But Deidara Younger Days allows you to growth into the Deidara that you want, so you're not going to be stuck needing to kill your own guy to progress. So that's very good. He is 6'2 when healthy, 2-0 when injured, so bad when injured, but very strong when healthy. And obviously can use all of our Deidara jutsus, which is kind of what he's here for, to use them as early as possible. I do run only 2. Growth coins are important on our Deidaras, and getting him out for free is also important, but it's not the best. He doesn't really do anything by himself, so just having 5 Deidaras is the key here. And getting growth coins on our Deidara is also very important. And lastly, for turn 5, the only turn 5s I run, and the last of my ninjas in general, I run 3 Deidara super flat art style. Its effect is, when this ninja becomes the user of a jutsu, you can place 1 growth coin on this ninja. During your mission phase, you can remove a growth coin from this ninja. In that case, give 1 damage to 1 ninja. So basically a snipe for damage every time you use a jutsu during your next mission phase, which is very good. As we'll see later on, almost every single one of our jutsus is going to deal 1 damage, and a lot of them are going to be a snipe. So the main strategy of this deck is to keep recycling your jutsus, give a damage to any ninja basically with a jutsu. Next turn, give that same ninja a damage with your effect, kill it, do it again until your opponent basically can't do anything. You're just going to be throwing out a jutsu every single turn. To help with that, this Deidara does have Mastery. So Mastery is that you can pay 1 chakra after the resolution of the jutsu. As long as that chakra matches the element of the jutsu being used, you put it right back in your hand. It does only work once per turn, but honestly, we're not going to need to do it more than once per turn, and Deidara's effect is only once per turn because it is a can effect. So very, very good, and ramps up very fast. Your opponent can't really deal with a ninja dying every single turn, obviously. He is a Akatsuki with an earth attribute, and he does have ambush, so those are all key components for what we're going for here. And just like the other one, 6'2 when healthy, 3-0 when injured, so a little bit better. But as you can see, this effect does synergize really well with our Younger Days that does put a growth coin on us. So very best situation, we can put our Deidara into play with growth, and then have a growth coin already, and immediately during that same mission phase, injure somebody with our effect. So extremely good and extremely powerful. You want to see this immediately on turn 5, so 3 of them. On to jutsus. I run 3 8 Trigrams Palms Rotation. This is unlimited on the Great Ninja Tournaments list, and I think it's unlimited on Untap. I don't remember seeing it on Untap, but some other lists do have this as limited, because it is very powerful. It's an earth jutsu, as are all of our jutsus, so it is pick-upable by Hanabi. And it costs 1 earth or 2 generic chakra. Target is every ninja in the user's team. The effect is the target is unaffected by the effects of your opponent's ninja and jutsu cards during this turn. So essentially, if you use this last, you're not being hurt by anything at all. No jutsu effects can affect you, whether it's giving you damage, whether it's negating an effect, destroying your ninja, whatever. So already extremely powerful. You're basically immortal if you use this jutsu. Second effect, for an expert, if you have Byakugan, which we have 6 of, we have our Hanabis and we do have our Nejis on turn 0. Target cannot receive any damage during this turn. So not only from jutsus by being immune, but also the showdown, you can't receive any damage. You can't receive any ninja damage, anything like that, which you already were immune to from the first effect. But incredibly powerful, very good defensively. It's really good for just, throw it down, free block, throw it down when your opponent's trying to kill your ninja to negate a jutsu or something like that. It's just too free, and the best effect doesn't even need the expert effect, so you might as well run it at 3 here, especially since we're going to be picking it up all the time. Next, I run 3 Detonating Clay Bird in the full foil here. They do get a little bendy, but, it's the price you got to pay, I guess. Costs 1 Earth Chakra, and its requirements are Deidara. From here on out, all of our jutsus are Deidara specific, so you're going to want to see your Deidaras. Target is 1 ninja battling against the user. Effect, give 1 damage to the target. This jutsu cannot be negated. That one's a little scratched. Let me put it right back here. So incredibly good card. Obviously, it's just 1 damage for 1 chakra. That's very good. And that's exactly what we're looking for our Deidara, because 1 damage means they're going to die next turn, because you're going to have a growth coin after you use this. You're going to get it back, do it again next turn, use the growth coin to kill someone. So I guess it's going to be reverse order after the very first one. You're going to use your damage on your Deidara, then you're going to battle, then you're going to kill them, etc. So can't be negated. So you're pretty much, the only option your opponent has is to kill you or make you stand by or change the effect text of the jutsu. So there's not very much your opponent can do about this except kill you. So for 1 chakra, incredibly powerful, run it at 3. Next, I run 3 Detonating Clay, period. It costs 2 Earth, and the requirements are still just Deidara. I was only running 2 of these at first, but then it took me so long to find some to purchase that I ended up finding 3, and, why not? So I removed a negate that I had, or a standby jutsu I had, and made it 3, because it's still very good. So the target is 2 of your opponent's ninjas, and the effect is give 1 damage to the target. So this is a snipe. You can target 2 ninjas no matter where they are. They don't even have to be on the battlefield. So your opponent can't really hide from this. And then because it's just giving 1 damage, just like our Clay Bird is, once they're injured, your Deidara can just kill them next turn by just paying 1 chakra, or paying 1 growth coin and targeting them and giving them 1 more damage. So basically more on theme, but this time it's 2 and anywhere. Next, I run 1 Earth-style Headhunter Jutsu, 2 Earth Chakra, again, Deidara requirement. Effect, all back ninjas in the user's team and the team battling against the user become standby ninjas, then place 2 growth coins on the user. So essentially, this is the negate that we're going to be using in this deck. If you can't kill them with any of your damage, this is the only way that we can stand by them. It does stand by everyone but Deidara, which is fine because outside of our rotation, no one else can use any jutsus but Deidara, so he's really the only one who has to be on the field at any point. And it does give us our growth coins. So at the end of this, we'll have 3 growth coins. It's kind of a good way where, like, if you don't have the chakra somehow, if you don't have any other jutsus and you don't want to keep using this one, you can get some growth coins stocked up and hopefully kill some ninjas in the meantime to stall. Otherwise, it also basically wins you the fight because you're going to be at 8-0 with the growth coins after this, facing their head ninja alone. So unless they have something crazy like an injured Naruto with growth coins, an A or Raikage, like a Might Guy or something, I don't really know what else, like a Six Tails, I guess, they're pretty much not going to beat you with 8 power. By themselves. So very helpful. This is what I cut down to 1. So you're probably still going to see it with your Hanabi. So it's not really a big deal. And lastly, for our jutsus, we have 2 Detonating Clay C4 Karura. Requirements Deidara with an entry cost of 4 or more, which is weird because none of the Deidaras in the game have an entry cost of less than 4, I don't think. So not really applicable. It does have a 3 chakra cost, all earth, and the target is just 1 ninja. Once again, anywhere at all, on the field, in the village, in the battlefield, whatever. Effect, remove the target from the game, then injure each other ninja in the target's team. So very similar. Not only are you just killing a ninja for free anywhere on the field, you are also injuring their team so that when you get your growth coin with this, you are going to just blow them up next turn as they are already previously injured. And also, once again, you can just mastery this, get it back for 1 Earth Chakra, use it again next turn, destroy another team essentially, wipe out another ninja. Very powerful card. This does line out or round out all the jutsus we have for 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, which is definitely more than I would normally run, but honestly isn't that bad considering this is a jutsu heavy deck that we're going for. So I could even see you running these at 3 if you wanted to. On to missions. Turn 0 missions. I run 2 Team Asuma. It is a turn 0 with 1 hand cost, and it does have a permanent 3. So you are putting 3 coins on this and removing them at the start of your turn. When the last coin is gone, the mission is destroyed or moved to chakra. Effect: when your opponent wins or gets any battle rewards, draw 1 card. So there is a very specific ruling that just kind of got discussed in the Great Ninja Tournament server about this card. This card specifically, you must meet the cost in order to facilitate its effect. In other decks I have a profile on, I run this at 3 because at the time I believed, for example, if your Hanabi picks up a Jutsu that your opponent is winning as a battle reward, this will still draw you a card. That is not the case because specifically this is not like a cost, essentially. It's just when this happens, then do this. So your opponent is not winning a battle reward, therefore you are not drawing a card, only for Team Asuma specifically. So for that reason, I did drop it down to 2. It's not nearly as good as it was before, where you could just have one down, do like 3 different BR shenanigans and draw 3 cards while keeping your 3 BRs in your hand to essentially draw 6. Doesn't really work that way anymore, but it is still very good because our Tenten still does just win them a battle reward. That part is not cost. That part is just mandatory. So if Tenten, you swap out a card for a battle reward so that essentially they're net even on their battle reward winnage, you still draw your card. It's good for stalling because you can just let your opponent swing through and you draw into advantage that way. So it's still very useful, just not nearly as game-breaking as it was accidentally, as it turns out, because I don't really think that they thought that through very well. But yeah, just 2 on that, and it's fine for the rest of our missions later. Next, I run 3 Student and Sensei. Honestly, it's key for any Earth deck because it's so good, but in a BR flip deck especially, it's insane. This card is broken in this deck. Turn 1 with 1 hand cost, and the effect is your opponent wins 1 battle reward. In that case, draw 2 cards. The in that case is what's important because that means that that is a cost. And unlike Team Asuma that just says win, the cost means that if it is unapplied, so for example, you play this mission, your opponent wins a battle reward, that battle reward is a Jutsu, Hanabi picks it up, puts it into your hand, you still do get to draw your 2 cards. So essentially, on turn 1, you can draw 3 cards if your top card is a Earth Jutsu, which is insane. That's never-ending love with no costs. And obviously on turn 1, that's very doable if you had a Shiho and a Hanabi on your field, or honestly just a Hanabi and you got lucky. So very, very good. Does work very well in this deck. I think you should run 3 in any Earth deck, and you should run 1,000,000 in BR Flip specifically. Next for turn 2, I play 2 long-awaited reinforcements. Turn 2 with an Earth and a Fire hand cost, so you can use your Tobis as well, so that's pretty cool. Effect: search for 1 ninja card in your deck, show it to your opponent, and place it in your hand. Then shuffle your deck. At the end of your turn, if you didn't put in play a ninja card with the same name as the ninja card that you searched for this turn, discard all the cards in your hand. Essentially, that if the negative is never going to come up, you're going to look for the card that you want to deploy that turn. It's probably going to be Deidara, maybe Tobi, maybe Hanabi if you're really unlucky. But this is basically just a 6th and 7th copy of our Deidara that we're looking for. Since every Jutsu, barring defensive Jutsu, is Deidara specific, you need to see him. If you don't have him on turn 4 or 5 at the very latest, you're probably going to lose, and this deck is not going to do anything. So getting him out is imperative, and obviously we have other costs that we can pay for this, so very easy to just get what you need. Last up for turn 2 is I run 2 filling up the open spot. Turn 2 with an Earth and a Fire hand cost, or element, and 1 hand cost, which is very key for what we were talking about before. It is permanent. When this mission card's effect is applied, if you paid the hand cost of this card with an Akatsuki ninja card, draw 2 cards. So thankfully, we can use our 3 main Deidaras. Unfortunately, you can't use the younger days, but we can also use our 2 Tobis, and we can use our 2 Zetsus. So we have 7 options for that, which doesn't seem like a lot, but honestly, you're probably only going to see this once in the game, and Deidara is the main card of the deck, so you're probably going to be able to pay that with a Deidara hand cost. What's more, all 5 of those options, or sorry, all 7 of those options have ambush, so you don't really have to worry about losing that card because it's going to be put into your chakra and you can deploy it immediately after that. So the second part of the effect is your Akatsuki ninjas cannot be affected by the effects of your opponent's mission cards. That's very important because 1, Tobi is our main chakra engine, so if he gets negated by a mission card, you're going to be running out of chakra very fast, especially with mastery. 2, Deidara himself obviously can be negated by something like comparative strengths or dehydration or something like that. So making him immune to those is imperative because then you can use this effect to keep killing things. 3, if your Deidara gets injured, your Tobi gets injured, or Zetsu or whatever it is that you need, Karin can heal them, and she is now immune to those same effects as well, so she can't have her healing turned off by mission. So otherwise, just very good protection for your Akatsuki. Obviously, you only have the 7 targets to get the draw, which is a very important draw for you, so you don't want to run too many of these, but I think 2 is fine because in the end, you're not going to be using 2, you're really only going to see 1. And skipping over turn 3, over to turn 4s, I do run 2 Shelter from the Shifting Sands, our last hollow foil. So very pretty. Incredibly good card in BR Flip. Its effect is select 2 of your opponent's battle rewards. If any of them are face up, you can move 1 of them to your hand, then discard the rest. So kind of confusingly worded, but basically if none of your cards are face up, you just select 2 of your battle rewards and you discard them. None of them are face up, so discard the rest, discard 2 battle rewards. Already unwinning 2 battle rewards, that's really good. But if any of them are face up, you can move 1 of them to your hand. I'm assuming all of them are going to be face up because Hanabi is busted. You got your Neji that can flip things. You have many ways to get a lot of your BRs face up. So once again, just a free way to unwin a battle rewards, basically a draw, and then you're discarding another one. Your opponent's losing 2 battle rewards off of this, and you might be winning, drawing a card from it. And then the second effect, which isn't very important, when this mission card's in your chakra area, your opponent's maximum hand size is reduced by 1. So, I mean, that can come up. It can be kind of a thorn in your opponent's side for a little bit if both of these are used or in the chakra area for your Tobi or something that grabbed them from the discard. Your opponent's hand size is 4. That feels really bad, and they're going to have to discard down and probably lose some important stuff. So incredibly important card. I think in a normal BR flip deck, I would see this at 3, but in this version where you're just going to be killing stuff all the time, I think 2 is fine. So rounding out the deck, those are our last 2 cards at 2. So that is the deck. I do only have 1 reinforcement because I don't really see the need for any others. I'm kind of kicking myself because I didn't get a 3rd one that I could have, but it is 2 Deidara C0 form. Its effect is you sacrifice Deidara and 3 of your growth coins. Those don't have to be on Deidara. They can be anywhere, but it's unlikely they will be anywhere else. Valid. During your mission phase, the attacker's mission phase, you can pay 3 Earth Chakra to place a clay coin on one of your other ninjas, or on one of your ninjas. So any of your ninjas can have the clay coin on it. And then during your mission phase again, you can discard this ninja, give 2 damage to every ninja without a clay coin, and then remove all clay coins from the game. So basically it's a dark hole. You can wipe your opponent's field, and if you've paid enough chakra on enough turns, you can have your ninjas stay and just win the game after that. That's pretty much all he does. He does have mastery, so honestly, if your Deidara is getting kind of messed up, maybe he did end up getting comparative strengths, or he's got like a Conquer a Poison coin on him or something, you can sacrifice him out and get this guy, and he can do pretty much the same thing. He doesn't have anywhere near the stats as he has 0-0-0-0 when injured, so he doesn't really do any fighting, but he has mastery, he has the name Deidara, so he can use the Jutsus just as well. So 3 of these, because you don't really have any other cards in your reinforcement deck. There might be like a Zetsu, maybe something. I don't think there's any Deidara Tobis. I think they're all platoons. I don't think there's any Neji, Hanabi, or Tentens. So I literally don't think there's any other options. So find 12 other cards and throw them in here to protect your Deidaras in case your opponent has some reinforcement removal. Otherwise, that is everything we've got for this deck. I hope you enjoyed. This is a very versatile deck in its building structure, because honestly, you could easily turn this into a wood-style deck by taking out the Deidaras and Clay Jutsus, and maybe the Akatsuki stuff, and putting in Yamato's, First Hokages, and Tenzo's with Earth Jutsus, with wood Jutsus. So very versatile. The main engine is very simple and extremely powerful, which is why I think even though it's a little bit of a uncompetitive casual deck, because our Jutsus are all for one user and it's a pretty late game user at that, the engine itself makes up for it possibly completely. So give a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. This is my first profile in a little bit, but I have way more decks in the works. I'm making some every other day. It seems it's insane. I need to get financial aid, please. So ring the bell if you want to see more deck profiles like this, or if you want to see other content such as theory crafting decks, tier list videos. I'm going to try to do some like gameplay videos perhaps, but anything you'll see in the future, I will see you there. Bye.